is the Lockpicker 1969, and welcome to my channel, and welcome to the next episode of Interview with the Lockpicker. Today's guest is Yabende. Say hi.
Hello everyone. Yabende here.
So, where are you from?
I am from Poland, my friend. It's
Okay.
in Central Europe, country in the Central Europe.
Okay. So, how and when did you get into locksport?
How and when? I don't know which year was what was. I think it was 2.5 years ago. Uh, I always watched in some movies like some people on movies picked locks, and that was very interesting for me. And I decided someday to I will try to do that. I bought on the AliExpress some Chinese cheap pick set, and that's how it started.
Okay. Then where did you go from there?
Mm, uh, can you repeat the question?
Sure. Where did you go from there once you got your cheap Chinesium set?
Uh, hmm. To be honest, I don't know if I understand the question.
Okay, so you got your Chinese pick set. What how
Yeah.
far did that take you basically?
Not far, because this Chinese said it was junk.
Yeah.
In fact, so to be honest, I picked some acrylic padlock with that tools, and maybe some cheap padlock or cheap door lock from supermarket.
Okay, so at some point then when you realized that the pick set wasn't really working for you, you went to something else. What did you go to next?
Uh, in my country, in Poland, lock picking is illegal, and lock sport, in fact, it doesn't exist. So um, I have been searched in internet to get some tools, and I found a multi-pick company that is from Germany. It's from it's it is Germany. It is in a border, in the west border of in with Poland. So I bought from multi-pick some some beginner set, but I don't remember
Okay.
exactly
So
which picks was there.
which brands of picks are you using today?
Today I'm mostly using picks from Moki. He's a friend from LPU, and he's a great manufacturer
Oh, I love
and
his
producer.
picks. Yep. Love them.
Yes, they are definitely great, and they have a really good price for this quality. I'm using Peterson's and Multipick and some custom picks. Yeah, I had Jimmy Long picks,
Oh yeah.
but I don't have it at this moment because I give them to the one guy who win my 1K giveaway.
Oh, okay. That was cool. Um
Yeah,
so
but
here
they are some quite nice picks from Jimmy Longs.
Oh yeah, definitely. Um so what some people wouldn't know with what you've been able to do is that when you were first starting out, you had trouble understanding the locking mechanism.
Yes, that is true because in fact I never mm, wondering how the lock was working, what is inside of each lock, and uh, at the beginning of my lock sport career, mm, I had to learn everything.
Mm-hmm.
Some, pin tumbler locks, disc detainer locks, lever locks, and many, many others.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Fair enough. I think a lot of people start out that way in their journey too. So hopefully that helps people feel that, you know what, if he had trouble at first too, then I don't feel so bad and I'm going to continue to try.
Yes, of course. Still always saying nothing. Uh, I am not superhero. I am not a. Uh, I don't know.
And you're
Anyone can get.
and you're very modest also. I'm going to point that out. From getting to know
Okay.
you and talking with you, you're a very modest person. So can you talk a little bit about how you kind of got into the community and kind of your feelings about online communities in general when you first were getting going?
Okay, I'll try. When I when I looking on the internet about any information about the log sport, about the lock picking, I found the subreddit on the Reddit, and I entered in this sub. Uh, then I found that Lockpickers United has a community, and there is a belt system, and that this belt system was inspired me to get some belt.
Yep.
My first belt was green, and then I'll I'll make I made that first challenge lock, and that was blue belt. I found some cool people like Mr. Black Magic, who was uh, in the same level like me at this time, at this moment, and that how it started.
Okay. So you are a black belt 17th Dan, is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. So when you were moving from green, you mentioned your challenge lock. Can you talk about that a little bit?
About my challenge lock.
Yeah. The one you made for getting
Uh,
past blue.
Yeah, that was challenge lock was made it from some really bad quality and cheap door lock from the from supermarket, um, and I was send this challenge lock to someone, but I don't remember who was it. Uh, and to be honest, this challenge lock was not good, was ugly, and yeah, but making this challenge lock was fun.
Yes, exactly. And that's really the point, isn't it? That it
Yeah,
encouraged you to understand locks even better and put something
of
out there.
course, yeah.
Yeah,
That
definitely.
was very informative. Uh, Making challenge locks, making some pins, gutting lock a few times. That was really learning.
Okay, I wanted to ask you so when you were getting started in lock sport and lock picking, you mentioned about some of the influencers that you watched on YouTube. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, at the beginning, I watched on the YouTube the Botnian Bill and the Lockpicking Wire because they are uh, always on the
They're all over the
always.
place.
Yes. That was my first influencers. But when I found the Alpio community, uh, I watched many videos of the I forgot it.
Samurai?
Legend of yeah,
Yeah.
Legend of Samurai. I Monitor Darkly, Correct Jeans, and
Yep.
few others, great speakers like Norlin and I don't remember at this moment. Yeah, and I really found that these guys has great knowledge about these logs, and in fact, uh, from these videos, when I watch it. Uh, it was my lock picking was start for real.
Okay. Awesome. Um, so you got a lot of great stuff on your YouTube channel, and I would imagine you started out your channel very similar to a lot of other YouTubers out there, with doing your belt videos for your belt rankings. But you kind of went a really great direction with what you were doing with your channel. Can you talk about that a bit?
Yeah, now I have 17 done with a black belt, and to be honest, it's hard to find some locks which I have been not picked. I have a few, but I don't have a really big amount of time to
Yeah.
work with these locks. I hope that will be changed uh, someday. Mm, I'm a firefighter
Yep.
normally, and I like to help people. When I joined to the LPU community, to the locksport community, uh, I found many people who helped me uh, with at the beginning of my journey. This kind of help from these people was really really great, and I decided I want to do that for beginner lock pickers and lock pickers who wants to uh, get I don't know, red belt, black belt, or something like that. I want to help.
Oh, that's awesome. Um, you're definitely one of those community members that's valued and cherished out there. Whether you maybe realize that or not, that's definitely true. So, um, I wanted to get to one more thing you mentioned about being a firefighter, but you also do something else that helps people dealing with rope. Can you talk about that?
Yes. Yes, I'm working on the ropes, on the rope access. This is kind of work on high altitude mm, with alpine techniques, climbing on constructions, on high building, mounting something, cleaning, or something like that stuff in the big exposure. And yeah, I
So,
like this work because uh, I'm a rock climber as well from about 20 years. So I like work on ropes. I like high altitude and big exposure.
okay. So, what would you say in all the years you've been doing rock climbing? What was your most difficult climb, and can you talk about that a bit?
Uh, most I had a lot of difficult, technically difficult climbs, but most great climb was in 2010, and after that 2012. We was in Prokletie mountains. Is Prokletie? It means in Albanian cursed mountain. Mountains. Yeah, really.
Well, that's rather
And
ominous.
but they are really beautiful, beautiful mountains, very wild and really very similar to Dolomites in Italy. And we climbed there on the two peaks that we was first person in the world who climbs on the two peaks in these mountains.
Okay. So, what's your next big climb when you have the time?
My next big climb is to make a good people from my two young sons. This is my biggest climb at this moment,
Oh,
and I'm I'm doing this climbing.
okay. Can you
It's happening now.
okay? Can you talk about that a little bit, if you would?
Yeah, I have. Of course, I have a great and beautiful wife and two awesome sons. Older has 6 years old and younger 3. Yeah, they are two little boys. Mm, They are great. They are climbing. They are playing soccer. Swimming. Uh, and thanks to them, I don't have a time for anything.
I understand that completely. I have 4 kids of my own, so
Yeah. So you
definitely
know
understand
what
that
I'm
one.
talking
Yes, I
about.
understand what you're saying. So, another question: what would you say is your favorite thing about lock sport?
My favorite thing about locksport, hmm, I think my favorite thing about locksport is solving puzzles. Locks are like puzzles, like some kind of mystery, and I always like it to uh, when I insert the peak into the keyway, uh, when I feel uh, any feedback, when I feel pins or levers or something is inside in the lock, uh, that I'm feeling like, I don't know, Indiana Jones or something like that, that I'm solving some mystery, and I want to make that lock will be open.
Okay. Yeah, before you mentioned to me about how each lock talks to you, and I would imagine that's kind of where most lock sporters want to get to. Can you kind of elaborate on how the locks talk to you?
Yeah, this is my theory about the lock picking and lock spot, because very often people try to force some locks, and some, sometimes it's good and sometimes it mm, it can provide you to open lock, but mostly time when you try to force some lock, your trying will be not successful. So I always try to understand the feedback. I always try to understand and listen the lock. Feedback is some kind of language that lock talk to the lock picker. Uh, that is my theory, and I always try to learn this language and talk with this lock. I want to um, talk to log in this language and make that log won't be open, not
Okay.
for this log.
You're going to persuade it.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
All right.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I missing this word.
No, no, you're doing great. I wanted to touch on one more of your hobbies that you mentioned to me before. You do rock climbing, but you also do running. Can you talk about that
Yeah,
just a little bit?
yes, yes, of course. Now I'm not running very often because I don't have a time. I'm running with my two sons. Uh, but few years ago I was a mm, hobby runner. I will start in some ultra marathons in mountains. So that was a long running, long distance running, quite slow, but very long, and I love that.
So more like marathon type running.
Yes, marathon or more.
Okay.
I don't know how to say ultra marathon, something like that.
Okay.
No,
Well,
yeah,
I I would imagine that with your two boys being into running and wanting to learn rock climbing, it sounds like they want to be like dad, which is awesome. Um,
yeah.
I,
They
w-
want to be like that.
I would imagine
Definitely.
that you are a very proud dad.
Yes, I am. It's true, but in fact, I think that I'm doing I'm doing everything to be a proud dad and to be something to be a great dad and everything for my sons. That they can feel that I will help them with anything.
Yeah. I think that's awesome and commendable. And quite frankly, from what I've gotten to know with you and us talking, you are a very modest person, like I said earlier. Um, I do have one question to ask before we wrap up.
Hmm.
How
Okay.
how does it make you feel that you are revered in some respects as being an amazing lock sporter? Because your modesty, I think, is going to kind of answer this question for me. But how do you feel about that? How the lock sport community sees you?
Uh, I don't know. Do you think that Locksports community see me like some unusual person? Hmm.
I think they see
I
you.
don't know. Hmm?
Like I said, you're a very modest person, but definitely you are an asset to the community. Did
It's this feeling is I know about it, but uh, and it's quite nice, But uh, I think anyone can do exactly the same things like me. Maybe
yeah?
I'm not feel like uh, some superhero or some. mm, I really don't know how it works, but it works. Yeah.
So, is there anything you'd like to say to our audience before we wrap up?
I want to thank to all log sporters who support me. I want to thank all my subscribers in my channels. Thanks to you guys. I improve my videos. I'm still learning English because uh, this is not my language. I never before the blogsport career. I never talk with English. Yeah, I thank you all, my friends, and you, my friend, uh, because uh, you want to make an interview with me. That is great. I never thought that I will be uh, I will be making interview about my Locksport and all that stuff. So wow, thanks.
I had a great time doing this interview, and I thank you so much for, with as much difficulty as your schedule is because of what you do. And I definitely appreciate what you do for people. Um, I was very happy that you were able to work with me and we were able to get this interview done. Um, I definitely am looking forward to people hearing your story. And anyway, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, thank you very much, my friend. Take care.
All right, we'll wrap this one up. And if you are a subscriber, thank you. If you are not yet a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications and all, and hit like on the video. And thank you for listening.